Oh, I gotta stretch. Stretching is good. It's 4:25 now. I've been recording for a bit. This is gonna be a bitch to render all of this. Always is. The hallway's quiet and empty now with Shizune and Misha gone, so we two leave towards the stairwell at the other end. Every 10 or 15 or 20 steps, I have to change the can from one hand to another because the thin handle cuts into my palm. At least it keeps my arms from tiring too fast. Rin strolls on beside me with an uneven pace that I have trouble matching. Or maybe I am walking weird because of the extra weight. It seems one of us is constantly walking too slow or too fast, and I can't figure out which. 2 flights of stairs below, trouble appears in the form of the head nurse and his fox-like grin. Ah, Mr. Nakai, what a happy coincidence. Suzuka too, of course. He nods courteously to Rin, who does not acknowledge him back, then turns to me, because obviously it's me who has some business with. There's something I forgot to mention on Monday. I nod and wait impassively, because I can't even begin to guess what he forgot. The feeling of the handle delving deeper into my skin doesn't make me feel enthusiastic about this interruption either. It's about your medication. Since you haven't been on them too long on your regular, since you haven't been that long on your current medications, there might be some unexpected side effects, which might require adjusting dosages or even changing to another kind of medication. So we will do some tests regularly, but what I want is for you to keep an eye on everything in your condition that feels off, if you get what I mean. Nausea, headache, anything, come see me if if something happens. Alright? So how are you? Everything fine? I give up and drop the can to the floor before answering. Apparently this takes longer than my biceps can handle. I'm about to say something generic as an answer, but then I realize how often I've done that lately. Drink of water. Other people have asked me that too. Teachers and students here, my parents, visitors, nurses, doctors at the hospital. Everyone seems to be concerned about that. It's rush for a hospital, but not so much for a school. Except this school. This is a small school, and both the student base and faculty seem to be very tightly knit. At least that's the feeling I'm getting. And this is not the kind of school that gets transfer students too often. The thought sends shivers up my spine, but I give a generic answer anyway. Ellipsis. That's great. Also, one other thing. My sources tell me you've been at neither the school track nor even the pool. So I'd like to know if you have taken up exercising as I asked. Of course I haven't, but his way of inquiring gives me the feeling that I should have been running my ass off on the track since the very first day. You have people spying on me? Not as much, just happen to know a few people. But that's not the issue here, so don't try to slip out of it. Well, it's actually just doing some improvised weightlifting as an exercise. I pick up and lift the can up and down a few times, like some sad imitation of a bodybuilder, even though it's weighing down on my arms painfully. The stupid grin disappears from his face for a second, then comes back like it was never gone. Tezuka, would you give us a second? The nurse grabs me by the shoulder without waiting for Rin's permission, which she didn't need in the first place, and drags me aside. When I told you to exercise, I wasn't joking. I understand that you're still on your first week and all, but please don't ignore the importance of this. The reason I'm coming down this hard on you is that habits are not easy to form. The more you slip and postpone, the harder it'll be. It's the same with everything, like dieting. Can you promise me that you'll be more serious about this from now on? Yes. Yeah, I promise. Definitely. He studies me for a moment, then shrugs, smiling again. Okay, that's more like it. If you go to the school track tomorrow morning, you'll meet my spy, who probably has no qualms offering consultation to you if you want to jog a bit. Consultation? See you around. He leaves with a wave of his hand and no answer. And I walk to Rin, who's been waiting, idly leaning against the hallway wall and staring at the pile of lighting fixtures in the ceiling. Even when I approach, she doesn't move her eyes off them. Are Are you getting medications for your heart thingy? Were you listening? It comes out more accusatory than I intended, accidentally lashing out on her. But even so, I don't really want to start talking about it. I just met her, and this is crazy. But here's my number, call me maybe. Ha! Crappy line. I don't know. Or crappy joke. I don't know her. It's not her business. The nurse seems happily ignorant about confidentiality, too, talking about that kind of thing in public. But it's not Rin's fault, is it? I look up at her, suddenly feeling a bit guilty, but Rin is just staring past my shoulder quizzically, her head tilted like a bird's. Sigh. I don't know why this is so hard for me. It feels like there's some inexplicable lock that prevents me from being more upfront about this. Yeah, they're for my heart. Will they make you better? No, not really. They just make me a little less worse. Rin keeps looking at me for a while longer, and she neither says anything further nor displays any kind of emotion I could discern. I'm thankful that she doesn't. I think I'm still not quite used to all this. At the hospital, it was easy, but I still haven't sorted my feelings about having to live a normal life with this disability. We leave the main building and Rin leads onwards towards the dorm. We stop at the small patch of greenery in front of the dorm building. The dorm is built on a slight elevated ground, with a wall and a few trees that everyone has to circle around every time they come or go. It's probably the only inconvenience design in the school. The entire wall made of the same kind of bricks as the building itself has been covered with some sort of painting. Most of it seems to still mere sketches, quick lines drawn with black and white against the gray plastering that covers almost the entire length of the wall. But some places look a bit more finished. There are human faces and legs and hands. I can't quite say what the painting as a whole might portray. Stacks of what seem to be paint cans are arranged in piles on the ground beside the wall. See, the left side is hardly off the ground yet. It's because I couldn't get in the mood yesterday, so I gave up and went to meditate. I have to work on it, but the guys from art class are helping with the negative spaces and base surfaces whenever, which is a problem. It's easier to paint big areas if there are a lot of people with hands. The reach is better, and it's faster too. She goes on a tangent, waving little with her arms, or whatever of it there actually is, to demonstrate, even though I got the point already. The white cotton of her sleeves flapping around, and it makes me think it could look sadder than it does. But it makes me feel out of place, like almost every tangible reminder of the student base's special properties has in the past few days. This girl doesn't seem to notice my dreary feeling, of course, or the fact that she has allowed us to meet Hollywood already. Just keeps on blabbering. So that's why I'm trying to figure out if there's something I need to figure out, and then figure that out before it's too late and all hope is lost. Why would the hope be lost? Because paint has to be painted, then it has to dry, then it has to be painted over with another kind of paint. Paintception, bro. It takes time. She finally stops, apparently thinking she made some kind of statement that makes sense. I think it's best to start from the top. So, this is your project? You did this? Yes, yes. All of it? Yes. Nice, but I stumble with my words, suddenly feeling like I've walked straight into a minefield of political incorrectness. It's okay, you can say it. I probably won't get mad. I blush really hard. I don't really know what would be the right thing to say, if any. It feels like I'm way more sensitive than Rin is, though. This is really awkward. Don't you want to ask? How do you paint without hands? See? I'm an easy person to talk to, right? With my feet. I almost guessed that much, but isn't that really hard to do? You're good at guessing. Anyway, I don't think it is, but maybe I'm used to it by now. I can't get my mind around the fact that she could be an artist, but seeing how adept she was at using her feet to eat, I figure painting might not be a problem either. Neither of us has anything more to add to the subject. The afternoon light works pretty well. I was afraid it would look too flat, but it's not like that after all. I think it actually looks interesting. I wanted to see what it looks like in dim light. Do you think it's flat? Well, paintings tend to be flat. Not like that flat, you know, flat, like some people are. No substance, no meat, where there should be some. I know a few girls who, okay, I get it, but I couldn't really tell. I'm not good with art. I can't name any artists or artistic terms, so I don't really have anything to say. Ren shrugs her shoulders at that, saying, "Suit yourself," without saying it, and looking up at the sky as if trying to look for something up there. I didn't think I'd get any actual work done, but if you give me a hand with the paints, I could do a little before it's too dark. I wanted to get a halogen light lamp, like the ones they have at sports track, but there aren't any. Rin sure is quick to recruit my help, as was Shizum. It really makes me feel like that the festival is such a big project that every pair of hands is needed. Why not? I'm not really sure if I can be of any help, though. It's just mixing some paints. You can do that, probably. Do you have motor control problems, like, you know, those people who have some cerebral palsy, maybe? Not that I know of. I get it. Heart thingy has nothing to do with that. She gives a sly look for no reason. No, it doesn't. Let's do it then. So she sits on an empty wooden box and very naturally picks up a wide brush between her toes of her bare right foot. Open a few of the cans and pour some of the contents into shallow bowls for mixing. The thick paints float lazily from the can to the bowl like syrup. I mix them, creating funny, hypnotic-looking swirl patterns that melt quickly into each other to form a new monotone hue. Rin sets to work every now and then, asking me for a hand with something or the other. Ellipsis. Finding different brushes is easy enough, but mixing the paints to be the exact tone this girl's apparently seeing in her head is a frustrating ordeal. She wants precision down to the last milliliter, not meter. Meter is distance, liter, liquid. Before she is satisfied, but her instructions are obscure at best. Add half a splash of green. I crouch down to pick up the can of bright green. The other green, this green. I carefully pour some of the other green paint into the mixing bowl. No, that's almost a whole splash. More white. Is green a good color to add? No idea, you're the artist here. A hint of smile appears in the corner of her mouth. Do you lack an opinion? No, it's just I have no idea. That's okay, because I got an idea. Add more white. With this exclamation, I pour a minuscule amount of white into the bowl and mix it. It looks slightly whiter. That's not good. It has to be like the color when you wake up and you know that you saw the meaning of life in your dreams, but you can't remember it. Maybe it's yellow. Despite the impossibility of mixing a color with the change of seasons, I would say orange kind of would be that color. Orange, red, you know? Like for when it changes to autumn. Maybe I'm just wrong. I don't know. Any other nonsense that is being imposed on me, I find myself enjoying it more than I thought I would. Seeing a painting being poured on a plaster wall feels like magic. I spend the moment I have in between mixing paints, crouching down on the pavement and looking at her art, her work. It feels slightly intrusive at first, but like breaking some imaginary intimacy, but Rin doesn't seem to mind the least bit. Maybe it's just in my head. Her entire presence emits a completely different air as she patiently works the details, adding layers of paint on top of other layers of paint, steadily moving her foot across the wall to add new shapes. When I manage to produce a passable mixture of paint, the rare smile on her face is oddly rewarding. Apart from the few words when discussing paint mixes, neither of us say a word for the longest time, and even those short discussions soon evolve into shorthand, both of us developing some weird impromptu code words for various paints and hues, as if there was some need to conserve words and breath and sound. Boom, magic. We stay there